Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today we are looking at avoiding the fourth offense, which is to minimize the authority of the scriptures. So it's very, scriptures and holy names are very, very much connected together. And the scriptures, they give us the vision to see this world, to see ourselves, and the goal of life, which is actually very important for our chanting of the holy names. So the scriptures, they are our guideline or guide light. They give us light in our spiritual path and give us the direction. And without them, it's actually impossible to advance in Krishna consciousness. And sadhus and gurus, they are just speaking the same language than the Shastra. So the main message that comes into the scripture, and that one that is very important for our chanting of the holy name, is that everything in this world is temporary. And you notice how often when we chant the holy name, our mind is engaged in this world, thinking in this world of things we have to do, things we were doing, and we are so much absorbed into this world. But the scriptures tell us, don't be so absorbed into all those things. Everything is actually of a temporary nature, but rather focus on what is the most important in life. Your relationship with the Lord, your relationship with the holy name. So minimizing the authority of the scriptures means that actually we do not take those information so important. We minimize them. Yes, everything is temporary, but still I have to be so much concerned about all what is happening. So we minimize what the scriptures are telling us. And now we will try to not minimize them, but to keep them very much in the depth of our heart, remembering, no, this is all what is connected to this world is of second class. I want to focus on the priority, which is the holy name, which is service to the holy name. Once Srila Prabhupada said to his devotee, do not read the newspaper because they make the world appear so real. And this is what we want to let go. And there is also a beautiful quote from Vrindavan Mahimamrita, where Prabodhananda Sarasvati Thakur said, turn your eyes from the labyrinthine network of the material world of dualities, where the bodies and everything else are fashioned from the three modes of nature, and make your mind enter the endless, limitless, intensely blissful spiritual effulgence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we chant the holy name and we try to keep the vision that the scriptures are giving us. We don't minimize them, but we keep them in our heart, that wherever our mind is going is all in the realm of the temporary, and we do not want anymore to put priority into this temporary world, but the priority we want to put right now into the chanting of the holy name and our relationship with the holy name. Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna. So we try to keep connecting with the scriptures and keeping the vision of the scriptures, because the scriptures explain us how to see the world, how to see ourselves. And with this proper vision, we try to chant the holy name. And the offense is to minimize the authority of the Vedic scripture or the scriptures. And it is very clear that Krishna is the authority of the scripture. The same person whose name we chant, he is actually the authority of all the scriptures. He speaks through the scriptures. It is even said that the scriptures come from the breathing of the Lord. So we cannot minimize the scriptures and expect to chant Hare Krishna at the same time. It's just not going to work together. We should not disrespect the scriptures by keeping them in a glass museum case. Those are the words of Satsvarup Maharaj. We should not minimize the scriptures, means that we should actually study and apply them. We should not just have them on the shelf, but it should be actually part of our life, that they actually transform our vision. It is said that the Guru is like the father and the scriptures are like our mother. And like a small child will believe whatever the mother will say, we are also small children on our spiritual path, and we just accept and follow the scriptures as good as we can. And the fourth defense is actually to honor the scriptures and means to study the scriptures and apply them. So another essential guidance that we get from the scriptures after understanding the nature of this material world is understanding our nature and Krishna's nature. I am an eternal servant of the Lord, and the Lord is my master. And this is something that makes always a huge difference in our chanting of the holy name when we enter actively in the position of servant, of serving the holy name and chanting the holy name with our heart as much as we can, with love and devotion. So we try to keep the scriptures very much, the vision of the scriptures. We let go of the world, understanding it's not a priority at all. And now we put the priority into the holy name and into our service that we are offering to the holy name. Thus, we don't minimize the scriptures. We don't minimize the authorities of the scriptures. They are there in the holy name. So we combine the two. We have the proper vision and we serve the holy name. Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Ram. Hare Krishna. So our final step today is to chant the holy name, keeping the descriptions of the scriptures in our mind. Once Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was saying that Harikatha, the talks of the Lord, is the Svarup Shakti of Harinam. Like the Svarup Shakti of Krishna is Srimati Radharani, and Radha and Krishna should always be together. In the same way, Harinam and Harikatha should always be together, should always be combined together. And we can see that we chant the holy name, but the scriptures, they explain to us why we should chant the holy name and how we should chant the holy name. What is the mood? What is the approach to the holy name that we should have? In Harinam Chintamani, Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes that while we chant the holy name, we should be aware of the person whose name we chant. And also in the scriptures, Krishna tells it many times, always think of me. remember me, think of me. And all the descriptions that we have in the scriptures are there like to help us to all the time remember the Lord. So our last section today, we will chant the holy name, but we will try to connect to the form of the Lord. And we will do some visualization also. And every Saturday we have online course, we could say it's called Nectar Reading. And we are reading from Ananda Vrindavan Champu. And last Saturday, there was like such a beautiful picture of Krishna that I thought we can take that as a description from the scriptures today. So it is, we'll make it super condensed. It is said that the pure dust of Braj on the body of Sri Krishna, this is when Krishna comes back home in the evening with the cows. So the pure dust of Braj that is floating in the air is going on Krishna's body and look like the pollen on the body of a bee. That's first image. Second image, the garland, Vaijayanti garland that Krishna is on his chest, seem to smile with the beauty of its flower and spread its attractive pollen in all directions. And the last picture is the Kaustuba jewel, gem that Krishna is on his chest. Even though it's covered with dust, still it shines even more brilliantly. So we will have those on the screen in case you want to remember. The way we will do, we try to stay with the holy name and we try to remember the picture of Krishna coming back home with the cows. And whenever we notice our mind was wandering, we can just maybe remember, oh, he looks like a bee full with pollen. And then we go back, Hare Krishna, we stay with the holy name. And then the mind wanders, we notice it, we can remember, oh, his Kaustuba gel, even though filled with dust, he shines even more brilliantly. Hare Krishna, we go back to the holy name. And then, of course, the other one, the garland of Krishna that seems to smile with the beauty of its flower. So we try to stay with the holy name, but anytime that the mind wanders, we just remember a little something of Krishna whose name we are actually chanting, and we combine the descriptions of Krishna and the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you for joining. Today we were trying to avoid the 4th offenses to the holy name by minimizing the authority of the scriptures. And we see how actually the scriptures and the holy name are very, very well connected. And now we were just looking at it to avoid this offense while chanting Japa. But of course, our attitude toward the scriptures outside of Japa has also a big impact. Are we reading the book? Are we studying the book? Are we trying to apply the book? Are we visualizing the descriptions of the book? Are we actually honoring the scriptures in our life? And when both are actually, when we do that, our chanting of the holy name will be very much alive. I see that very often devotees are doing their best to chant their 16 rounds every day, which is super wonderful. But many, they actually neglect their reading and their absorption in Shastra. And this is actually going to create a disbalance when we have when we give sufficient priority to the holy name, to the scriptures, then our holy name will be nourished. Like Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati was saying, Harinam Harikatha is the Svarup Shakti of Harinam. So both needs to be very nicely nourished in our life in parallel, and then our japa, our chanting will be also much more enlivened. So thank you for joining. Wishing you a wonderful week. Krishna willing, we meet next week. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Garantarat Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Harinam Yagya ki jai.
So much, Babaji. Hare Krishna.